What is going on, Jet fans? Matt O'Leary back with another video. In today's video, we have a few things to get into. Jadeveon Clowney is visiting the New York Jets next week, which is a good sign. The New York Jets plan at wide receiver, if there is one, some wide receiver trades, and how that has a major impact on the NFL draft and just the fallout from these trades and their impact on the New York Jets. Have you ever Googled yourself and were shocked to see your personal information exposed on one of those public listing sites? Data brokers are making a fortune selling your information to robocalls, spammers, and others who want to learn more about you, like where you live. As a public figure, this type of stuff is an absolute nightmare for me. Private information should remain that, private. This is why I'm pumped to tell you about our new sponsor, Aura. Aura can identify data brokers exposing your information and submit opt-out requests on your behalf. Brokers are legally required to remove your info if you ask them to, but they make it super hard to do it. Let Aura handle that for you. You can try Aura for free for 2 weeks using my link, aura.com/Matt O'Leary. Aura also does so much more to protect you and your family from online threats you can't see. It's really easy to set up so you don't have to download several different apps to get things like parental controls, antivirus, VPN, password management, identity theft insurance, and more. You get everything at one affordable price. Let Aura do the hard work of keeping you safe online so you can focus on other tasks with peace of mind. Once again, start your 2-week free trial by using my link and going to aura.com/Matt O'Leary. The link is also in the description for this video, so make sure to check it out. Okay, so why am I excited about Jadeveon Clowney visiting the New York Jets? Well, a couple of reasons, really. Unfortunately, as we know all too well, they lose Bryce Huff in free agency, so the Jets were always going to be kind of active there. They and Robert Saleh especially, he pounds the table for edge rushers. So if you thought they were going to just let Bryce Huff walk and then not add anybody, that's not really their MO. And Jadeveon Clowney is and probably would be a really good fit for the New York Jets. 9.5 sacks in 2023 with the Baltimore Ravens, a career high of 71 pressures. Holy smokes, was he fantastic last year. Probably, honestly, I would say his best year of his career. He's been a little, I think early in his career, he was a little bit overrated because he was the number 1 overall pick. And sure, he hasn't lived up to the hype of a top pick, but that doesn't mean that he hasn't been a steady, productive player at this level. He's always been great against the run. The sack numbers and the pass rush skills probably never developed to the point where many believed they were going to. And he's still a fine pass rusher, but a dominant player in the run game, which if you were to critique the Jets defense at times in the run game, they struggled. They were very, very good against the pass, but there were certain points last year where they were getting gashed in the run game and certainly losing Big Al Woods in season, and Quentin Jefferson goes down. The interior of that defensive line took some hits. So after that, I thought they struggled a little bit. And when you look at his projected contract, PFF is predicting a 1-year, $9 million deal for him. You can make that work. He was playing last year on a 1-year, $2.5 million deal with the Ravens. He is Mr. 1-year contract. He's done it a few times in his career. He had a 1-year deal with Seattle, a 1-year deal with the Ravens, and there's just been many points in his career where he's taken those short-term opportunities. He's willing to bet on himself, and at that price point, if you're getting him for under $10 million, I would be looking into it. I think it's a wise decision to, 1, improve the run game, and then number 2, try to get some pass rush production back that you lost with letting Bryce Huff walk. Late last night, Keenan Allen was traded from the Los Angeles Chargers to the Chicago Bears for a 4th-round pick. Dude, this is definitely something I would have liked to see the Jets in on. It's very, very obvious that they need to add more at the wide receiver position. They've seemingly kicked around the Mike Williams idea. We'll see if he ends up coming in here. But Keenan Allen, yes, even though he's 32 years old, He's on the older side of the back nine of his career. He's still an extremely productive player. And with Aaron Rodgers, I think that would have worked really, really well, especially at that price, only a 4th-round pick to acquire a guy who had, 1,200 yards last year. Really damn good football player. And, some people will go, well, how are you going to take on his $18 million? The Jets don't want to take on his $18 million. Well, here's a way to create almost $17 million pretty easily. Extend DJ Reed on a new contract, which is something they should be looking to do anyway. Restructure John Franklin Myers. There's your $16.7 million in addition to what they already have. And that's not to say that the Jets couldn't pivot and find a good option at wide receiver. They absolutely could. They're not in on any names right now. There's not much cooking on the Tyler Boyd train. Supposedly Garrett Wilson's tried to do some recruiting there, but the Jets haven't expressed much interest. It was reported they had no interest in signing Hollywood Brown on the 1-year deal, and I'm not the biggest Hollywood Brown fan, but I'm just curious what their plan is at the position. We've seen guys like Keenan Allen gets traded for peanuts. Deontay Johnson gets traded for peanuts. You also had Jerry Jeudy get traded for peanuts. Like, these veteran wide receivers are around and to be had for not a whole lot. And I loved the idea of what they did to get Morgan Moses. You pick swap in the 4th, you give up a compensatory 6th-round pick. That was a really creative way and a good decision from Joe Douglas to help fix your offensive line and find a stable veteran option on the offensive line at right tackle for a cheap cost at $5.5 million. Thought that's probably the route they should go at wide receiver. When you see the free agency market, there's not a lot left. At this point, there is not a lot left at the wide receiver market. We'll see about Tyler Boyd. There's been links to him all week if he's going back to Pittsburgh. I think that's probably the most likely scenario, subject to change. Maybe they're in on Mike Williams. It's just been very, very quiet on the wide receiver front for the Jets. Okay, so how do some of these trades, and there's another one that we could get into in a second, impact the draft and the Jets specifically, which is important because the Jets have the 10th pick and the Chicago Bears are picking in the top 10 and the Los Angeles Chargers are picking in the top 10. So with the Bears situation, I don't think they need to go wide receiver at 9. Maybe they are in the fold for Brock Bowers. They do have Cole Kmet, though, who I like a lot, and they seem to like. So maybe they go with an edge player at that spot. Maybe that's where Dallas Turner comes off the board. Moral of the story, I don't think they're in on wide receiver. The Chargers sure as hell should be, though, at pick number 5. Mike Williams cut, Keenan Allen gone. They are reshaping that room. Yes, I know they just took Quentin Johnson in the 1st round last year. It hasn't really worked out all that well. It's unfortunate. He's a bigger receiver. It just hasn't clicked in year 1. Maybe he develops in year 2, but they need more at the position. Malik Neighbors, you are a Los Angeles Charger, or who knows, maybe Rome Odunze comes off the board there at pick number 5. But I think the Chargers should be in for wide receiver if they don't trade back. And the reason why I say if they don't trade back is because the Minnesota Vikings made a move earlier today, acquiring another 1st-round pick. So they have multiple picks in the 1st round, and I think this screams to me that they are going to attempt to trade up for a quarterback. And I think, pick number 5 with the Chargers is definitely in play when you consider where the Giants are. They're picking at 6, and they could be looking for a quarterback as well. So I think the Minnesota's trying to trade up for J.J. McCarthy. Maybe they get up into the top 3 for Drake May or Jaden Daniels, but with the Patriots really only bringing back Jacoby Brissett, I think they're in on a quarterback. Washington will be in on a quarterback, and I think the Bears will be in on a quarterback. So I think if they are moving up, it's to 5 for J.J. McCarthy. I am all in on either one, the Vikings staying put the Chargers staying put and taking a wide receiver, the Chicago Bears staying put at 9 and going with a defensive player, the Vikings trading up with the Chargers for a quarterback, pushing good players down the board because the Jets aren't going to be taking a quarterback is only going to benefit the Jets. They could either go, with an offensive lineman. I still think offensive tackles in play. Maybe you get aggressive, move up for Joe Alt. Maybe you stay put, you take Olu Fashanu. Maybe you stay put and take Talisi Fuaga or JC Latham. Or who knows, maybe you find a free agent tackle. They draft Brock Bowers, or you go with a Rome Odunze or whatever. But The moral of the story here is there's still options open for the New York Jets. We'll have to wait and see what continues to happen in free agency, but there's going to be some interesting outcomes here, I think, in the draft based on these couple trades. So let me know your thoughts on today's stories in the comments. I'm Matt. I'll catch you next time.